Hello, welcome to the build guide for the patch 1.09 Asari Huntress Platinum version, or whatever. The version I've been playing in Platinum, as in not the one that I posted a build guide before, because that would not fucking work at all. So, there are a couple different ways you could do this. Right now I'm spec'd into Throw. You could go to Lance if you want. Either one is viable. It's just personal preference, really. Throw is one of my favorite abilities in the game, so that is why I'm spec'd into it. But I'll go over Lance as well if you wanted to go that route. So this is one of the best platinum classes in the game. Stealth Grid is immensely useful in the current state of the game. And while this class won't be necessarily like the most damaging or the most tanky, it's a little bit like good at everything. So you'll be pretty effective without like specializing in any one thing. We'll go over some of the basic stuff that won't change. In barrier, take unyielding barrier for the increased total shields. It's going to be more useful than the alternative. In rank 5, you got increased movement speed while shields are active and increased weight capacity. Not spectacularly useful. The movement speed's alright, the weight capacity is useless, but the alternative is completely useless. And then rank 6, saving barrier. This is one of the big reasons that we're taking unyielding in rank 4. It's going to be one of our like survivability abilities, and active barrier is not really useful for us anyways, so. In offensive biotics, rank 4, we want more recharge speed because we're not really relying on powers for damage, so might as well have it recharge faster, which is going to be actually very useful for what we got in rank 6. Rank 5, increased weapon damage is why we're taking that. The melee is useless. I guess you could maybe take combo detonation, like if you have a massive hard on for it, but weapon damage is going to be overall more useful for sure. Rank 6, we don't really need biotic damage, once again, but we do want weapon damage, and this 15% melee force is actually surprisingly useful. It's not going to be something you can take advantage of all the time, but remember that you have it because if you use a power for the next 3 seconds, if you do melee a red health enemy, it will knock them down. So you have a knockdown melee for 3 seconds after using powers, as well as your increased weapon damage. So just keep that in mind. For Stealth Grid, rank 4, I'm going with power cells over radius. If you want, you could take radius as well. It's not a huge deal, and having increased radius does make it easier to land it on teammates. So I prefer power cells, but go ahead and take radius if you prefer. In rank 5, duration would be moderately useful, but I really prefer being able to pop my shields and then get regenerated faster. So I really like shield grid, and that's where I would recommend, especially since survivability is your main issue in platinum anyways. And then in rank 6, 30% movement speed while cloaked. Really useful because a lot of times when you're doing objectives as a cloaker or going to get a revive or whatever you're doing, the movement speed is going to help out a lot. If you choose to go with throw as I did, I kind of like having radius here. It's again not something that's always going to be useful, but when it is useful, it's kind of nice, and you don't really need the damage in the force. Rank 5, getting recharge speed is going to be more useful than duration, because we want to cast as often as possible, not rely on single casts for doing anything spectacular. And then Swift Detonation, again, gives you more recharge speed and combo detonation damage. Really useful. I know some people like to use double throw, but my personal preference is Swift Detonation. Combo damage is respectable, especially if you are at a high rank. I'm at 19, so I have additional combat or combo damage from those ranks as well, and that does make a difference. If you prefer to go with Lance instead, in rank 4, I guess you could go with either one. My initial the way I would put it is in damage and force, but like some people might want to take radius, and that would be okay too. Rank 5 anti-shield is going to be much more useful for this character than Focus Blast will be, so take anti-shields. And and the reason being, like, you're going to want to open because you want to cast a power to get your weapon damage buff, and so enemies are going to have shields at the start of an engagement, so that's when you're using Lance, so you might as well use a guaranteed 35% versus this, which is really hard to land. Anyways, rank 6 then, you would want damage and force, not shield powered. And so the general strategy is use a power, shoot for 3 seconds, use a power, shoot for 3 seconds, use a power, shoot for 3 seconds, etc., etc. And that way you always have your damage buff up, and you're also setting off combos when you use either throw or lance on a prime target, which you will be doing because you're going to want to use an ammo. And then you use stealth grid to do devices, retrieval. You're the one that's going to want to stand on the point in hack and just stay permanently stealthed. Even without the duration, you can just pop resupply consumables, which, I don't know, most people probably have tons. Like, I have 618 right now, so I guess if you're playing Platinum, you shouldn't be really worried about using consumables anyways, so that's just what you do. You just spam it over and over and stay stealth permanently. And you it's always a struggle, but like you're going to want to tell your teammates to go away, lure the enemies away, and you just sit there and do nothing while you capture the point. So, yeah, I guess people already playing Platinum already know that, but maybe some people are watching this that haven't. So, for boosters, I've been actually farming Platinum just with like Incendiary 1, Cryo 1. Disruptor ammo is generally the best ammo in the game, so that's why I don't have much of it. But you can still do fine with either other element. I would say Disruptor is best, Incendiary is second best, Cryo is the worst of the three, but priming is still priming. And then for your other slot, I've actually just been using Power Capacity rank 1, so I just get one additional power cell, but feel free to use higher ranks of that as well. For weapons, if you have been watching my videos or my stream, like you'll probably notice that Equalizer is the weapon I use by far the most. It's just, it far outclasses so many other guns in the game, and I would use Hurricane on some of these characters, especially this one, as an alternative, but mine is only rank 2, and my Equalizer is rank 10, and I feel like I want my Hurricane to be higher rank before I actually make the switch. So if you have a high rank Hurricane, that would probably be better, but if you don't, Equalizer is easy to max out, and it's amazing. And then for your equipment, the Expert package is the perfect piece of equipment. 15% weapon or pistol damage specifically, and then 15% power recharge. So that helps so that you're always maintaining that 3-second buff after your powers, and it also increases your damage a good bit. So you got 15% pistol damage there. You've got 15% weapon damage there, and then another 15% weapon damage there. So it actually adds up a lot, and your gun's going to hit pretty hard. So you're using powers, but it's really just to boost your gun damage. And that's about it, I think. I've been streaming this character like all day today, but I'll probably try and just record a random match and upload it so we can get a gameplay video going too. So that's the Asari Huntress. It is one of the best Platinum classes, so definitely give it a shot, because joining a public lobby, like the reason I play this character so much right now isn't because it's necessarily my favorite, but it's because I'll join a public lobby and there's nobody with stealth grid, so it's like, alright, I'm going to switch over. You could also use the Avenger, but this isn't the Avenger video, this is the Huntress video, so thanks for watching, and see you next time.